second year. The second year is also very much similar to the first year in the sense that we do notebooks, we do modules. This is module 1 of the second year. This module is entitled Today Matters. It is only when we come to the second year that modules have got titles like books. And it's because they are based on the books that Maxwell has written. Maxwell has actually written a book with the title Today Matters. So this module is based on that book. And it's mainly having a different approach to training of leaders than it has been the case in the first year. This time around, we look at some key things that a person can do such that ubomi bakhe bube right and usuku lwakhe alu-organize kakuhle, abe strategic in planning and arranging usuku lwakhe. Our leadership development is based on 3 areas of leadership development. We are doing what we call skill formation. We give leaders skills of leadership. And we also deal with something called strategic formation. There is the difference between skill and strategy. While you are skilled, you also need to have a strategy. We also have what we call a strategic formation. And the third wing of our leadership formation is what we call character formation, which is spiritual. Maybe this is where the biblical content becomes useful, because now we focus on you being a child of God, living a life that's pleasing to God, operating for the audience of one person, and that person being God. Once ube nobomi obu right spiritually, that means in your character, so that leadership yakho ikwazi ukuba ibe stable, ikule ngendlela efanelekileyo. The next module 1 kwa yethu is called Winning with People. This is meant this.
Okay.
Then notebook 2, kunyaka wesibini, notebook 2 on the second year, which is volume 2. We call the second year volume as well. So it is called volume because it is comprised of 6 notebooks that make up 1 volume. So this is for the second volume. This is the second year. This is volume 2. Now, the first notebook, and as I've shown you, was a notebook entitled Today Matters. And the second one is Winning with People. And I've said this notebook is about your influence, how best you can win with people. It tells you of how to deal with different kinds of people and how to actually win people as a leader, because leadership is about influence, nothing less, nothing more. If you don't influence people, then you are not a leader. And if you don't have anyone following you, Maxwell says, don't call yourself a leader if there is no one following you. If you call yourself a leader and there is no one following you, you are just taking a walk in a park. Because all leaders have got followers. You are only a leader when there is a follower. The next one is 360 degrees leader. This is also wonderful work. It's about how you can become a leader irrespective of the position. Its main intention is to undermine a position as a determinant. You know, position is the lowest level of leadership. You don't have to become a leader because of the position you hold. You don't become a leader because you're the principal of a school. You don't become a leader because you are a manager of a firm. You don't become a leader because you are the president. You can't be a president in the terms of position, but you don't become a leader. So we show how best you can become a leader, irrespective of the position. No wonder it says 360 degrees leader. That means you become a leader right round, irrespective of what you are. You also become a leader. Another one is thinking for a change. It's about thinking. This one is a very, very colorful one. It trains you on how important it is for you to think, because when you think, and it gives all the bottom line thinking, big picture thinking, I mean, all strategic thinking and so on. So thinking for a change, it trains you to be a thinking leader. This world is run by thinkers. And if you are a thinker, then that means you can lead. But if you can't think, then forget about being a leader. Then the fifth one is failing forward. This one is how to understand when things go bad and it looks like you're hitting a bottom rock, how you can pick yourself up when things don't work out the way they should. That is why it is called failing forward. This book is called Failing Forward. And this is notebook number 5 of the second year. This is notebook number 6 of the second year. This one is, I like it very much. It says, talent is never enough. It's about how you can, I mean, what needs to be added. It's about talent plus. Over your talent, what else must you add? Khona ingathi laa nto kaPetros ithi itani endaweni ethile kwisidima nongezelele ukuthi uyaqonda is plus what, so that you become effective in your lead. I won't go to its table of contents, just look at the title and that is enough. So these are the first 2 years. I won't talk of the second year, but I just want now to come to how this entire thing is structured for people to understand. Now, for each notebook, you actually have first, the manner in which we do it is like this. Initially, you make a payment for registration. Our registration is very low. You just pay 300 rands. 300 rands admit you as a student. Even that 300 rand, it purchases some stuff for you. After paying 300 rand, we will give you a file, a unique file containing a number of pockets for you to fit in your notebooks for that particular year. So it's a registration material. You pay registration and you get registration material. And then when you attend a training, for each training you attend, you pay 350. That money will cover for the purchase of the notebook, for the teaching fees of the facilitators, for the traveling fees of the facilitators, for maybe when necessary, sleeping accommodation of the facilitators, and when necessary also maybe for venues that are used, because some venues are hired and then we pay money for it. So for us to be able to pay that venue, students have to pay some money. So out of your 350, we will purchase a book, we will transport a trainer, we will also pay for the venue where the training will take place. At times, we do also organize some light catering. You don't have to bring a provision and a scarf tin for you. We will feed you when you are with us. All of it out of the 350. That means we are actually doing this pro bono in the sense of the word pro bono. And then you pay 350 until we get to the last notebook. And when you have done the last notebook, you are expected. One major requirement here is that you have to enroll. It's your business to enroll a minimum of 3. There could be even more than that, but they should never be less than 3. You must enroll 3 other people in the program. The reason for that is the only way we measure that you are a leader, because you will show us that you have got a following. And out of your following, we are asking only for 3. Bring 3 people who follow you to become part of the program. By doing that, we will be convinced that we have not wasted our training on somebody who is not what we think he is or she is. We are training a real leader because this leader has an influence. But some people, for reasons we don't know, they fail to have these 3 people until the end. They attend all the notebooks until they get to notebook 6, but they don't have these 3 people. Then you are not qualified to get a certificate unless you have these 3 people. In some cases, what is a plan we normally put to assist these people is you register them even if they are not there. You just pay 300, possibly out of your own pocket, and which will be equivalent to a registration of 3 people, which is amounting to 900 rand, which you pay for 3 people that you should have brought as live people. But because you did not bring them live, then you bring the money for the people that are not there, and then we'll count that money as registration for 3 people, even if the people are not there, so that you will be able to get your certificate. And then we organize the graduation. One of the rules here is that no one graduates in absentia. Our graduation is very important. We showcase the program. We invite even people who can be possible patrons. We enlarge our sphere of influence, and we showcase what we are doing. So graduation is important and is compulsory. You pay an amount of about 2,000 rand for a graduation, which is meant to cover the venue, the board of directors we will come and keep you, and we will transport them. We don't get funds anywhere else. We are not supported by anyone. We depend on the funds that we raise from the participants. And that is why you raise 2,000 rand for the graduation. You attend the graduation in person, you receive a certificate during the graduation. You have to bring 2 other people to attend the graduation who will not pay anything, but they will consume your 2,000 rand. And then we cater for it, and we get an upmarket venue, and we normally organize a very good spot for the graduation event. And then most people who attend the graduation, it becomes a memorable event, and we make it to become an awesome moment for our leaders. And then we normally get good speakers to address our leaders and so on. We emulate the graduation that is done at the best universities in the land during the graduation for only 2,000 rands. And that ends the first year. But some students also desire to have a license that permits them to train the material. It's a license from, it's just a pity I don't have a copy of it. Maxwell will give you a certificate which says you are a certified trainer. It's a trainer's license. And for you to purchase the license, you pay an amount of 1,500 on top of all the other fees I have mentioned. 1.5 is for you to have the license. And then you also do a practice teaching during the training. During these first 6 notebooks that were being done, you are given a segment or a lesson to teach, so that your teaching ability, your communication is put under scrutiny, and we measure and see if you can possibly manage to convince people or to articulate our content. If you are satisfied that you are able to articulate and communicate, then we will recommend that you must be licensed. And then you get a license from Maxwell, and that license allows you to be a trainer. When you are a trainer, you can collaborate with us and be part of our team of trainers. And then you are called for some trainers trainings, which we call TOT, training of trainers, which we normally do once in a year. And then for those who are trainers already, and then we support you with a lot of stuff, and then you assist us in, you become active. You actually own the program. You develop ownership. You become active in establishing some centers for us to train, and you become active also in working with others in training other leaders who have been organized by other people elsewhere. And then, or you organize your own group of people for us to go and train. That is when you are a certified trainer. You can be a certified trainer while you are still in the first year, but you will not teach the second year stuff unless you have a second year certificate. And you can't teach a third year stuff until you have a third year certificate. Each year ends with a certificate. The certificate for the first year is called a bronze certificate. The certificate for the second year is called a silver certificate. The final certificate for the third year is called a gold certificate. And in a nutshell, that's how the program runs. And unless I could have some questions which could be in the minds of the people through whom we would be sharing this video with.
All right, thank you very much. The question that I might have, let's say that maybe a client or someone who is part of the program, they feel that the content is not too much for them. So they wish they can consume as much content maybe within a year, maybe both volume 1 and volume 2 within the same year. What can you say about that?
Sure. Okay. Yes, though we don't encourage that much, but in the case where we find people who are so much into the content that we avail and that they would love all of it at a swing, we will permit them. There are some students who have done both volume 1 and volume 2. It's just that the requirements are a bit steep, and then therefore a person should also be able to meet those steep requirements. In other words, for example, they need to raise they need to enroll not less than 6 people. Not less than 6 people should enroll in 1 year, because you are doing 2 years in 1 year. each year was going to cost you only 3 people, but now you do both of them, therefore enroll 6 people. And also the fees are a bit doubled up because everything is doubled in that year. Therefore, you need to have enough money to pay for the other year as well in that very same year. And also, you need at the same time to do what, by the way? Yes, yeah, these are the main basic requirements. And that your fees will be a little close to being doubled than the previous year. It's double does not mean, I mean, the total fees for both years will not be more than 12,000 Rand, I think so. It'll be around that figure when we include everything for a period of about 2 years. If you have that kind of an amount of money, you definitely could do both years in 1 year. But the most critical one is that you must enroll 6 people. That will be very much important. Therefore, it is possible for you to do 2 years in 1 year.
Okay, thank you very much for addressing that. If we do have further questions, we'll definitely let you know. We appreciate you for this session.
Sure.
Thank you.